Welcome to Crafty Sourcer. If you're looking for a raw, unfiltered podcast on all things sourcing in APAC, you've come to the right place. Grab a coffee or wine and join your host and other guests as we dive deep into the complex and ever-evolving world of sourcing, keeping you informed on insights, tools, and even at times, a healthy sourcing debate or two. Now, here's your host, Denise Pereira from Kaleidosource. Settle in and let's get crafty.
Everyone, welcome back to another episode. Look, today I'm not going to get into anything as an introduction because, to be honest, this man needs no introduction. In fact, what we're going to do is we're actually having an amazing banter. It just started off, to be honest. So Steve, let's talk about. We were talking about you being an advisor and a founder. And one thing I do love about you is your no bullshit approach, right? So let's talk a little about what we were just talking about and carry the conversation on.
Denise, I don't know if my approach was always no BS. Certainly earlier in my career,
Yeah,
and probably proportional to how much hair I was losing at the time. I was substantially more arrogant than I was.
sourcing changed your life.
Well, no, sourcing didn't change my life. My life, like everyone's life evolves.
Absolutely.
It's like none of us, well, not many, very few people consciously choose recruiting as a profession.
Mm.
The ones who, most of us who've been doing this for a long time, we say we didn't choose recruiting. Recruiting chose us. And early on, full life cycle. It wasn't even called full life cycle when I started. I'm not going to perfume pig here. I am 65 years old. And I received my engineering degree in 1980. You weren't even a thought. Your parents weren't even married.
They were, but I was definitely not a thought back then.
No, nothing, none whatsoever. It was, work and I remember my interactions with recruiters in those days, and it was miserable. Not a whole lot really has changed. We've just automated all the stupidity.
Yeah.
This is what it was like. Firstly, in the old days, an ATS, an applicant tracking system, had another name. It was called a physical file cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have Evernote or Otter AI or anything like that. We had 3x5 index cards.
Wow.
We didn't have a contact database. We didn't have things which we could find our phones. We had a Rolodex.
The good old Rolodex.
Good old Rolodex. And, the ability, there was no such thing as defining the total addressable market. There were Booleans, but mostly for those of us who were engineers and took a lot of math, we knew what Booleans were. That was the easy part. And then along the line, these things called personal computers came on board.
Yep.
Roughly, I remember putting them in when I worked for Pitney Bowes in the 80s. Engineer, brought the first PCs into the company. They weighed 20 kilos.
Yeah, they were massive back then.
Massive. And when you turned it on, it made a sound that, sounds like my knees. It was like, the discs were spinning. It was horrible. And there was no network. I remember writing, software to allow machines, different types of manufacturers to talk to each other. It was wild. The reps came in and go, you can't be talking. I said, look, really, this is a deck. You don't know what a deck is, but if you look at PDP-11, you'll see an old computer that we used to refer as a boat anchor.
These are such new terms for me, by the way. PDP-11.
That's okay. Your life will be no richer for it. I can guarantee you that.
PDP.
Maybe you can impress somebody at a tech meetup.
Probably.
One day. but then they'll still look at you. Still give you the golden retriever head tilt.
Mm.
Or I'm sorry, the blue kneeler head
Yeah.
tilt. But along the way, I didn't find recruiting. Recruiting found me. I'm not going to tell the story. But over the course of a couple of decades, I made a ton of errors. All of us did. We thought maybe we had ESP. Like take a resume, hold it up to our forehead. Ah, good fit. What, are you kidding me? Just because, when you were 13 years old, your friends told you secrets, you felt you had some sort of innate ability to sense things? Spidey sense? No, you didn't. Spidey sense comes from experience. It comes from successes and failures. We know early in our career, we made some of the most god-awful, inhumane mistakes.
How was biasness like back then? I'd imagine, like, obviously not having what we have at our fingertips now. Like,
biases are biases. Biases are a product of genetics, of socioeconomic status, of upbringing, of parenting, of the people that you surround yourself with. Biases, don't change just because stuff's automated.
yeah.
If you, I mean, to this very day, if you go to, any, AI-ish, picture generator and type in, generate a picture of a group of engineers, you're going to get white male engineers.
Mm-hmm.
You
So
have to be
true.
very specific. And you can't just say, generate a picture of multi-generational, multi-gender, multiracial, multi-orientation engineers. It'll still be mostly white males.
Or
Then you have to.
it will break the AI.
No, it won't break the AI. I mean, in time, these things get better and better. It's a nature of the technology. You can't be scared of it. I was talking to Glenn Cathy yesterday, and we were having a discussion on in fact AI, what it actually looks like. Two older bald guys with facial hair talking about AI. But what I've been saying for for quite a long time, particularly in the last since 2022 2023, when we've seen the carnage in talent acquisition. I think I estimated something on the order of 65,000 people in TA have been riffed globally. But what's left? Why? I mean, what's been happening since then? We apply for jobs. We see no reply. We see emails that say, no one is monitoring this inbox. But you know what, you silly goose? We're not going to even move forward with you, but please join our talent community.
Yeah. I got an email like that yesterday.
Yeah, and which is unfortunate. Or so ultimately, what happens is we're left with many TA departments, like it or not, are underexperienced. They're underskilled. They seem to know less about the technology. I don't necessarily blame them because they're getting the pressure from above. Look, you're in charge now. You have to produce. You have to make hires. So what happens? Let's look at the dynamics of the reality. And it doesn't matter whether you're in Australia, whether you're in the US, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in Antarctica. Well, maybe Antarctica is a slightly different situation. But you're having, X times as many applicants as before. And you're going, how the heck? There's good people in there. But you realize, I don't know how to parsimoniously go through all these people and give them an experience that warrants them at least feeling good about the company. I'm disappointed, but you know what? You treated me better than somebody else did. TA doesn't realize for every person that you treat well, they're going to tell X times as many people.
Absolutely. It's a ripple effect.
And even more so, Denise, you're not going to lose a potential future customer.
Mm.
And I think that's the part that the higher ups don't get. They're so focused on the nonsensical things like cost per hire, which is
Yeah.
the single most nonsensical recruiting metric.
Mm.
I'm going to let you answer why. Why is it the most nonsensical metric? It's not a hard question, so you don't overthink.
It's just that it's 7 o'clock in the morning for me, Steve.
I know,
Um,
I know. I'll hold up a coffee cup. I'm going to hold up a coffee cup in your honor.
uh, well, I don't know. I think it's just because that's all they really care about most of the time. And
I'm
you're right, it doesn't make sense because that should not. If you don't have people, you don't have products.
But here's why it doesn't make sense
Mm.
as a metric. Is your recruiting mix identical from the previous
Mm.
time you measured cost per hire?
Yeah.
Answer is never is.
Mm.
So you're never making an apples to apples
Yeah.
comparison. Never. And so you reduce cost per hire, you pat yourself on the back, but the roles were different.
Yeah.
But yet, and this is where the roll up is, where does it come from? The CHRO? Maybe. The head of TA who doesn't get it? Maybe. The CFO? Oh, we had the word cost in a metric. We've
Yeah.
reduced cost. We're good. We deserve a seat at the table.
Mm.
See, the problem is, HR and TA is more than just about furniture. I call the seat
Of
at the
course.
table, it's all about furniture. It's
Mm.
not about furniture, it's about people.
Mm.
And so one of the things that we've seen in the last, really 2 years is what is in effect uh, a higher percentage of inhumane, and that's a broad brush statement, inhumane behavior by people doing the hiring for companies. And one of the things that, again, Len and I spoke about, and others have spoken about, the more inhumane you treat people, the greater the likelihood you're going to be replaced by a non-human somewhere down the line.
Oh, 100%.
And that it's hard to get to grasp your arms and head around something like that, because you're faced with, thousands upon thousands of people who want to work for your company. And in your heart, if you really have a love for this profession, it doesn't matter how great you are yet,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to be thinking, I don't know, how can I do this? How can I provide what I know I want?
Yeah.
And that's one of the turning points. And we've seen it on recruiter therapy, is that people were very vocal, honest and saying, I used to do that. I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to ghost people. I'm going to apologize. We all get busy and we just miss things. We're human. And so if that happens, just call the person up and say, I'm sorry. I simply am so overwhelmed. I didn't get to you in time when I said I would. I'm sorry. What can I do to help you?
Yeah. How do you think, Steve, we can, obviously, you make very valid points. It's happening to me as well. Even though I've got my own business, I'm still looking for work on the side,
Yeah.
etc. And ghosting is real. Like, yes, we've done it as recruiters. It's happening to us as candidates. With AI, all this automation, all these things at our fingertips. Yes, we're humans. We only have 8 hours in our day to do something. But how can we improve from here, knowing what we know and knowing that it's such a shit show, especially for our market and our community? Being in the seat that we are, and we talk about having a seat at the table, but what about being able to influence that, and how can we actually improve on it?
Well, it's if you say something, mean it.
Mm.
I mean, here's something simple. Don't send out no replies. Number two, when you reach, for example, you let's say you post a job and you get you hit 500 applicants in 45 minutes. Shut the job down. Let people know. You can set things up in any ATS.
Yeah.
And you can select all. So let them know the situation. We just received 500 applicants in 43 minutes. We've taken the post down so we can spend the next 2 days going through the people.
Mm.
These are the specific criteria that we're going to use. How do you know the specific criteria? You've done an intake.
Mm-hmm.
And the specific criteria aren't great communicator, went to, University
Attention
of
to detail.
Victoria, bullshit like that. There are things, we hire people to get shit done, to solve problems, to deliver, which means I hope somewhere in our intakes, we ask questions such as, in the first 90 to 180 days, what will a person have delivered that will tells you that hiring them was the right thing to do?
Mm.
Oh, that's a good question. The
Mm.
manager said, well, I'm looking for a good answer. I'm not looking for fluffy stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
looking for something where you read it and you say, so what, at the
Mm.
end of it.
Mm.
You know how we say we make comments and we add the line in bed after it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. So when you read some of these things that the manager gives you in terms that are deliverables, and whatever might you say, so what? If
Yeah.
it doesn't pass the so what test, it's not a good statement.
Mm-hmm.
Or how's this? The easiest way to explain things in terms of deliverables is, the tech side, software engineers, assuming, we're Atlassian fans and we're using Jira, you ask the manager, okay, what are the current initiatives, epics, and story points that are not that are not being delivered, or they're falling behind because you're lacking certain skills or you're over capacity.
Mm.
So they can articulate that, and you say, let's look at it together. I mean, that's a one thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
I say when I interview, don't tell me, show me. Oh,
Yeah.
so you sit with the HM hiring manager during your intake. Go, show me. Let's point to the ones that are kicking your butt. Point to the ones that are waking you up at 4:00 in the morning in a cold sweat because they're not getting done.
Mm.
So we can write those are the hot initiatives
Yeah.
that go at the top of a JD. And so when you get to the point where you have 500 applicants and you send them an update, you can say, we're looking for people who have done boom, 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 who can do these things. Sanitized a little bit because you don't want to say exactly what's in Jira.
Mm-hmm.
And said, we're going to go through and look for evidence of those things.
Yeah.
No, well, here's the things. Here's what happens. I've done this. Now, when people say they will thank you, you will get more thank yous from progress reports like that than you can imagine.
Yeah.
Number two, people will self-select themselves out because they'll say, I haven't done it. I can't do that.
Exactly.
So there are things we can do, but you have to set it up in order to make it work. Otherwise,
And why do you think that is, Steve, that we don't do enough of that? Is it because we tend to put in the too hard basket, or we
right.
tend to feel like, hey, we have too many tasks in the day to do, so this is not a priority, even though it's part and parcel of our jobs?
That's partially it. But there's a saying, shit rolls downhill.
Yeah.
And there's another one. Sometimes you forget you're there to drain the swamp when you're up to your ass in alligators. But there are realities, in our home lives. You're married, I'm married. It's sometimes there's so much taking place.
Yeah.
The important couple of things are really important. Slow down.
Yeah.
Literally schedule quiet time.
Yeah.
On Fridays, for example, it's like 2:00 on, no more. I'm going to go through and finish and tie everything up. Go through all this stuff. Do the right thing, so I can have a good weekend.
It's almost like admin is a dirty word sometimes.
Well, it's not a question of a dirty word. It's hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. How many recruiters don't put notes into an ATS?
Oh, tell me about it. Data integrity is so crucial for our success in general, and it should always be.
Found what I've been doing more than the last couple of months. Use Honor AI.
I use it too. I love it.
On Teams. I use transcription. And here's what I do: I'll use a transcription. Then I'll after it's done, I'll look at the AI summary. But then I'll take all the transcription notes
Mm.
and I'll run them through ChatGPT, and I'll say, whatever the role is, and because if when you do the individual is differentiated.
Yeah.
There's Steve and Denise, and so I say summarize the technical elements of Denise's of my transcript. Ignore Steve, but do so for an audience of a head of software engineering,
Mm.
something like that.
Mm. Mm.
I have these prompts written up, and boom, it gets done. I copy it as I read it, so make a couple minor, always some edits, and then
Yeah.
put those in the notes. It takes a minute, literally, maybe a little more. It probably takes 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Still
then,
less time than what we would use
but
anyways.
then Denise, then it's all searchable.
Mm-hmm.
It's searchable. And then when you finally look at you show notes to your hiring manager, they go, "Wow, I didn't think of that point." Because one of the benefits of doing a great intake is in identifying the key initiatives is one of the first interview questions. The ones where you get the meat of it is, here's what I'd like you to do. I sent you these key hot initiatives, the key deliverables, as an accountant, as a financial analyst, as a software engineer, as a whatever it is. I'll go I'd like to know what your thoughts are, bullet by bullet, knowing that your audience is going to be your boss. Speak to them as a technical person.
Yeah.
That makes for that's why these transcripts are so rich.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to do.
Yeah.
And if you use the same platform, you'll get the same format. You get a very similar format.
Mm.
And so little by little, we do that. Now, there will be a time we're going to set it up where you're having, that's why video interviews are fabulous. And I do video interviews because I like people to be comfortable.
Yeah.
That's a skill that recruiters need to build upon, whatever it might be.
Mm.
For you, if I got real busy today, but I was going to have a whole Pakistani background with some fun shit on it. But I do that if I
love that.
But if I find out something like people like Dan Harton of Fire Easy. I think one of the first times I spoke with him, I found a picture of him from his high school football picture.
No
And it
way.
was and we I'm having a chat with him. He goes, "What the hell did you do?"
Well,
but that's instant. But that's how you get people to realize, look, it's got to be a little on the fun side.
Yeah. We have to remember, not forget that whoever we're talking to, it is a person. It's not a candidate. It's not an interview. It's not a meeting. It's a person. We're trying to connect with them on whatever level we can, because we all come from different backgrounds, different experiences, and we have to find some common ground somewhere.
Well, it's even more than that. It's about 2016. My incredibly great friend Derek Zeller, who passed away 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We wrote a book. We wrote an article for Recruiting Daily called "My Name Is Not Candidate." I don't know if you ever saw that one.
No. Is it on SourceCon?
No. It was Recruiting Daily. Let me get let me get it to you right now, and I'll put it into the chat here. With the way we wrote it is, we had an idea because both of us we were so passionate about, and again, both of us have evolved over time.
Yeah.
Derek would not be that much younger than me, not right now, and so we had an idea, and I said, let's write this. I'll write the first sentence, you write the second one. I write the third one, you write the fourth one, or something like that. It was
awesome.
like that.
Yeah.
So this was the article right here, and I think we forget that. Here it is. Paste. And it was like this. My first name is not passive. It's not talent. My mom never gave birth to a child named Candidate. Dad never told his friends, "This is my son, human capital."
Yeah.
But we refer to these inhuman
Mm, mm,
because how many of us have heard CEOs, stand in front of an audience and say, and clasp their hands and say things like, "People are our most important asset."
mm,
Asset.
mm.
I know what they're trying to
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
but
But you got
asset.
to leave that corporate jargon bullshit to a side sometimes and just be a person, and that's
And
it.
that's what people are looking for.
Yeah.
I'm a tech nerd, just like you are.
Mm,
And I love the technology, but there's a time and place for it.
mm.
It really is. I jokingly, I don't know how many years, it was probably 2014 at SourceCon in Dallas. It was an amazing, there were three key stages. Amy Beth Quinn was on one, Randy
Awesome. Yeah.
Bailey was on one, and
Yeah.
I was on the other one.
Yeah.
And all of us are very good friends.
Yeah.
And we would have really enjoyed presenting together, but it was just, and we were talking, as it turned out, we talked about somewhat similar things, the human element.
Mm.
But I remember in it, when the first time I used it, I said, tools don't recruit, people do.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think later on down the line, I don't recall, it was 2014, but I said the two most important social media tools are the telephone and the handshake. And it's somewhat, yeah, but the telephone, the high five, that human touch, it's important, to
Mm,
look someone in, be able to look someone in the eye. Have just having telephone screens. I hate telephone screens.
mm, mm.
I never liked them as on the job search side, and I
Yeah.
certainly don't like them on the recruiting side.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we simply started realizing, Derek and I, that there's a lot of fear out there. And there's a lot of fear from people who, you get so caught. It's like quicksand. The more you struggle,
The more you sing.
the more you sink.
Mm.
And we've seen that um, globally, uh, especially since COVID.
Yeah.
And, the solution to fear is humanity.
Mm.
You can't, we do as best we can. We can't, we do the best we can, but that's the solution.
Yeah.
It's like, look, it's not just simply, hey, thanks, but we don't think you're right for this job. It's, look, I know you're disappointed. I do understand. I've been there, but I tell you what, here's my LinkedIn profile. Connect with me. If I
Yeah.
can help you in any way, please just ask. I really do mean it.
Yeah. And not everyone has that. Even now when you get unsuccessful emails, it's just either, like you said, a generic email inbox or from the talent team, which you can never respond to, ask for any kind of feedback, which I also get. Okay, depending on what stage you are in the process.
Doesn't matter, Benice, you're a sourcer.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you can get the personal email for the head of TA. I did this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I go, is this really in your candidate experience
Yeah.
strategy?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want it? And the reason why I would always like to apply to jobs, even when I knew people there, and I know
Mm.
that, is I wanted a data point
Yeah.
on candidate experience. We have immense power in our community. If
Mm.
we would, if all of us, even if we know somebody, before we use our network, we apply and we start
Yeah.
collecting data points
Mm-hmm.
and we put them somewhere.
Yeah.
You ask how we can change behaviors.
Yeah.
That's one way. And we could do things like, I just received this negative, very cold, negative disposition from this company. and you go on the Blue Devil, you tag the company, you tag the CEO,
Mm-hmm.
and you go, look, I was really thinking about. I mean, that's last resort, but
I get what you're
although for
saying.
many that might be the first resort.
Yeah. Oh, it does happen. I sometimes
I
get
started,
surprised. I'm like, wow, so blatantly some people just put it out there. They've had shitty customer service with a
I,
vendor or
but I think there's a way to do it without being so obnoxious.
mm,
There
mm,
really is. We, particularly those of us in TA, we can get the CEOs. If you can't get the
yeah,
CEO's email of a
yeah,
company, just leave the profession.
yeah.
Just leave.
Have you ever seen, Steve, when you've sent an email to head of TA, just giving your feedback or asking for feedback, how have they sort of responded back to that, or they just haven't?
Probably 50-50. They didn't,
Mm.
and the other 50%. Ooh, sorry, thank you. Would you have any suggestions? One part of me goes, well, you can hire me and I can fix the problem. Or if not me, I know a large number of people who would do just the same thing I would.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, over time, many of those have turned into good friendships.
Nice.
But I understand, I understand their pain because they're being slammed also.
Mm. Mm.
It's partially it's how much we are, the level to which we're evolved as a mature, highly emotionally intelligent human being.
Yeah.
We can give the feedback and in a non-threatening way,
Yeah, absolutely.
and we can speak about these things at conferences.
Mm.
you know bring more people on to your podcast to talk about their experiences.
Mm.
If we're not going to talk about it, we'll never fix them.
Oh, 100. I actually had someone that was on my show, and we stayed in touch because I knew that they were looking for work. And they called me up a couple of weeks later and they were like, oh, I know how big you're on candidate experience. I need to share this with you. And they shared with me their whole sort of 3 weeks of looking for work and how the way they were treated during that time. And I was like, this is still bloody going on. Like, when is this going to get better? Like,
No, it's not. It's not necessarily going to get better.
yeah.
It's going to be drowned out some, because the reality of it is, when the economy picks up again, and we see more green banners coming down,
Yeah.
unfortunately, a large number of people are just going to let it forget about it.
Yeah.
They're going to go back, but each time more and more people commit themselves to fixing the problem.
Mm.
And we just have to keep at it.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have many other options. I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to stop. All the
No.
people who are my friends, they're not going to stop.
No.
And we're going to call people out on it, and we're going to, shout, get to the top, go to the mountaintops and shout it out. I'm not going to shout people down. I talk to anyone who wants to talk to me about it. I'll spend time with it. I allocate 3 hours a week for this, at least. Well, it's probably more than that. More than 3 hours for helping people just pro bono. Because, I mean, the other option is, number one, I can't get paid for it all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm not, that doesn't mean I'm not going to help, but so I might as well help, and maybe down the line I'll get paid for it.
You should, Steve. You give so much to the community. I mean, come on, you've been in this field for God knows longer than I can even think about what I've been doing.
God does know how long I've been doing this. I've been recruiting for 38 years.
Oh my God! Wow. But you've seen it all. You've seen sourcing evolve, like from what it was to what it is. How do you think, with the use of AI? Well, obviously we have to talk about AI somehow in this. How do you think what's going to get automated now for us? What do we need to be thinking ahead of? Let it out, Steve. Let it out.
No, it's not a bad thing. I'm so looking forward to RecFest here in the States.
The one in the UK? Oh yeah.
No, the one in the UK was, I spoke there in 2019. on Hung Lee's stage.
Mm,
That was a blast. The recruitment, the Wreckfest people, Jamie and Bobby Leonard, man, do they put on a show. But we also have the one in the States. Last year, Nashville, I believe we
Nashville.
had
Yep.
something like 977 attendees.
Wow.
I will not be surprised if we cross 2,000 this year.
It's on my bucket list to attend one of these rec fests, either in the UK or in the US.
I will speak to the Wreckfest folks about you as a speaker.
No, maybe.
Yes,
When is it in
yes.
the when is it in the US?
It's September 12th and 13th.
Well,
And
I'm going to Pakistan the next month. So okay, maybe who knows? If I have anything good to share, I will. I'm very shy like that.
well, the whole thing, the schedule is pretty much set. We're for that, Dean DeCoste and I
Oh
are
my god,
managing the
stop
sourcing.
it!
Dean's my bestie.
I know
Um,
y'all are like the real OGs. I follow y'all. I watch all of y'all's YouTube videos.
you
Dueling
have way too
saucers. Oh
much.
my gosh,
You have way too much free time.
I do. That's why I'm looking for a job on the side, Steve.
We'll see what we can do about that one. But we're managing the sourcing stage, and we put together a lineup.
Wow.
Oh
I,
my
I can
God!
only imagine what that lineup looks like.
It's going to start with a panel on the future of talent sourcing.
Is Glenn Cathy on there?
I'm not going to tell you what three
Oh,
people are on it, but they are monsters.
okay. All right.
Absolute, by the way, sweethearts too.
Mm.
Really good friends.
I have a feeling I might know a few names are popping up, but then you've got a lot of good friends that I've seen in the talent sourcing community.
We'll
So
talk when we stop recording.
all right. Okay, cool. Sounds good.
But the future of talent sourcing, AI, everything's going to evolve.
Mm.
It's when we first started as a community digging into sourcing, this was the late. I mean, a lot of us were doing it. I remember doing stuff back in 92, 91, perhaps a little earlier. It's a little foggy there, but formally roughly 98. That's where, I got to meet my lifelong, Shally Steckel and Jim Stroud and, and a little later on, Barbara Ling was right there. You don't even know the name Barbara Ling.
No.
She was magnificent. Kathy Richardson. I mean, just magnificent people who were all of us. We'd be up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, share, because it was just almost like a bulletin board back then. We try things. Oh shit! This one, send them over. Let people come back, and everyone was tweaking everything. And later on, that's where I got to know Dean and Glenn Guttmacher and I mean, ABQ came in much later. Rob McIntosh, and I'm vapor locking on a lot of the names here, but man, that was a time in which we were just rabidly trying things.
Yeah.
If you do this, you can get to here. If you do this, you can get to there. Look at the URL. If you just change the parameters, magic, you're in. Look at the source code. Look at the Easter eggs in the source code. My God,
Crazy.
things like that.
Yeah.
So here's right now, the sourcing thing. To me, I so enjoy it, and the word enjoy, for doing some research. It's generate a list of lesser known accounting associations in the state of Tennessee, or generate a comprehensive list of accounting associations in the state of Tennessee, include the links, whatever it might be, something like that. And all of a sudden, invariably, you go, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Or generate a list of state certification, state licensing bureaus, and include a link to the specific certification verification address, something like that. And it doesn't matter whether it's here or over you, because I've done a good amount of sourcing in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
Amazing the things that it can generate. You go, I didn't know. Shit.
Yeah.
That's amazing. The certification site so poorly done, you just hit a space and you can get everybody. Things like that.
Yeah.
It's really good for that. It's good I use it for fun. Let's say, for example, who's your favorite author?
Oh, well, recently I've gotten.
Fiction.
Oh, I don't read a lot of books. Does that make sense? Even though I've got a bookshelf behind, I've got heaps of books. I don't read a lot of books.
How's this one? Let's. I'm going to try it here. I'm going to go here right now. I'm going to go to. Where are you? What did I do?
In Melbourne.
In what?
In Melbourne?
No, here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go. Watch here. I'm going to go to. My site for doing quick and dirty is I love Grok. GROQ.com.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Because it's free and it's fast and you can change your LLMs. Why is it good to do different LLMs, you may ask? Same reason why you need to search different browsers with your Booleans.
Yeah.
You get different results.
Exactly.
So let's say I go in the style of, typing as we speak, in the style of Rowling. What's Harry Potter's author? What's her name?
J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Generate a recruiting message to a head of software engineering based in Melbourne, Australia. In the style of J.K. Rowling, in the style of an Australian.
Good day, mate.
Good day, mate. Australian J.K. Rowling. Generate a recruiting message to a head of software engineering based in Melbourne, Australia, about a role heading up all technology development for Victoria's largest retailer.
Go for it.
Here's what it said. Good day. As a fellow Melburnian and tech enthusiast, I'm thrilled to introduce you to an extraordinary opportunity to lead the charge in shaping the digital future of Victoria's largest retailer. And as a head, now it's kind of sucky, but it didn't. Notice what it didn't start with. I hope this email finds you well. But that's what happens. So let's just do something else. I'm going to copy this one here, and I'm just going to do a simple one. I'm going to go generate, and I'm just going to say generate a message ahead of and I'm going to take the part about J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do this now.
How about Shakespeare? Oh no, that would
We'll
be
get
too.
there. Actually, let me try one. Not a message. Let me go generate, and this is where I messed up because I wasn't thinking it. Generate a recruiting outreach email. That's it. Okay, that's it. So it said generate a recruiting outreach email. Subject: exciting opportunity to lead technology development at Victoria's largest retailers. Dear name, I hope this email finds you well. It says, I came across your profile and was impressed by your experience and achievements. Next paragraph, blah, blah. I am reaching out to you. Again, you see.
Sounds like LinkedIn.
At LinkedIn, it sounds like what most people do, what agencies do around the world. It's the same thing, Denise. So you ask the question, what is it good at? Is it really good? Can it be good for writing outreach? Yes. Let's say if from a personalization standpoint, you find out your person's name, and let's say you find their Amazon book list, and they like a certain author. So then you can say in the style of.
Yeah.
The more descriptive, detailed, nuanced, descriptive you are,
Yep.
the better it will be.
Absolutely.
That being said, I'm still going to read it, and I'm going to go, nah, I got to tweet. That's not perfect yet.
Yeah.
So that it can be used for things like that.
Yeah.
Unequivocally, it can be used for at scale assessments for high volume recruiting. I wrote about that. Did you ever read my article back in 2016?
I've read a few of yours.
But that was the one that I wrote a week after Rob McIntosh wrote his great article also. We wrote them as a couple, so to speak. It was called Artificially Stupid Recruiting. You never read that? Artificially Stupid Recruiting?
I'll have to.
No, here, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to put it in the chat for everybody.
I'm going to share these links when this goes live.
Yeah, and so that's what this was. And really shout out to Jim Stroud, who's doing a great job over at Source.
Love Jim.
Fantastic. Gosh. Fantastic. He is just fantastic. But it was this one.
Right.
And it's important to understand, Rob wrote a week early about AI recruiting, and we did this together. And next week I pushed this one out, but there are still limitations. We're both proud of the fact that 8 years later, both these articles resonate as if they were written today.
Yeah.
But it's not there yet. So, but in terms of doing research, transcription, high volume stuff, unequivocally can be used to go through a lot of things. That doesn't mean that using AI means your pre-work, your foundation work is any less.
Yeah.
Because you have to quote, train it.
Exactly.
It's great for summarizing interview notes. Love it for that. Sourcing, no.
If people, I was actually having this conversation last night with someone in India, and we were talking about how in their training, they talk about AI. But having said that, if people, let's say recruiters who are not familiar with Boolean or the basics of Boolean, go to the ChatGPT and they ask it to put a Boolean string,
it's horrible.
It will give it shit.
It's horrible. It is unequivocally horrible. It's like Vegemite.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm going to say my first trip to Australia, I think, was 1988.
That's a long time ago. You know what, Steve? I'm going to have to send you some Vegemite now just because you find it so horrible.
No, I actually like it. I like Vegemite. I like Wichita Grubs. I mean, come on. I will buy anything. But the funny thing is, we flew into Melbourne something on the order of September 23rd-ish or so, maybe. So it was coming into winter, fall winter season. We got to our hotel, I guess, like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And the back door of the hotel opened up onto an alleyway right adjacent to PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC. And one of my friends who I was with was going to be starting there at PwC when we returned from our trip.
Yeah.
And so that was when we learned about my shout. And it was all downhill from there. Completely downhill from there.
Yeah, when I first moved here, it was quite a bit of a culture shock in the sense that I had to learn to abbreviate or understand what every word and why it was abbreviated. But now I speak almost like I'm Australian on passport.
You're Australian. Yeah.
I just don't have the accent, that's all. But I'm still Australian.
No, it'll happen. Look, my family is all French. I'm first generation here. So I speak French. So,
yeah, nice. I have such a mixed bag of family because like my great grandmother's 100% Irish, my great grandfather's 100% Portuguese. I was born in Pakistan. My dad was born in India. My mom was born in Pakistan. So, half of the side of my family are all from the UK, from Europe. So it's such a mixed bag.
You can't help but Victoria is England.
Yeah. They really spread their genes.
We watch Kath and Kim. We know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good show.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, it certainly is. But but AI, it's going to evolve, and
Yeah.
I encourage everyone to try it, play
Mm.
with it.
Don't be
You
scared
know,
of it.
don't be scared of it. You know, just play with it.
Mm.
You know, you know, research, summarization, ideas,
Mm.
whatever it might be. You can have it in. If you have a paid version, you can ingest an entire industry report
Yep. Exactly.
and say, how would create, generate 10 10 um, summarize this report in 10 bullets, in 10
Mm.
statements
Mm.
that would appeal to a whatever the title is.
Mm. Hmm.
It's a start, and
You've
over
got to tell it
time,
what to do. You've got to give it the
exactly,
right prompts. Yeah.
absolutely, but over
Yeah.
time, you're if you pay enough attention,
Mm.
your creativity
Mm.
is
Hmm.
going is going to improve,
Yeah.
and it's going to get to the point where sometimes, like when I'm speaking on stage, I don't memorize anything. I know what's
Yeah.
on the slides, and I can read the slides,
Mm.
but I'm reading the audience,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I encourage people to shout at me.
Mm.
You know, what do you think? Shout out a question that you have,
Yeah.
and then magical things happen. That's where I came up with the phrase "in mauling."
Mm. I read that actually a few days ago. I saw
Yeah,
it on your profile, and then it was in one of your articles on
yeah,
LinkedIn.
but I think Katrina Collier was the first one who I was whatever it was 2015, maybe
Mm.
2006. I go, this is madness. It's like
Mm.
you're not mailing somebody, you're mauling them. You're in mauling. Stop the in mauling.
Yeah.
And it just sort of came out. It's there are things like when you come. This is kind of old school. It's still there. Business card bowls that are at restaurants.
Oh yeah, yeah, yep, yep. Where you drop your business card in
Oh
there,
yeah,
and yeah.
I've gone into restaurants, taken the whole thing. I said, "This is a sourcegasm."
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, to everything. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a sourcegasm. Or you
Yeah.
like when you come upon a certification site, and it's completely unlocked,
Mm.
and everything
Mm.
comes out, and
Mm-hmm.
you use instant data scraper to pull it
Yeah.
into a file.
Yeah.
Magic.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things. It's evolving, and the thing about it is, even an AI generate, and Glenn Cathy made a very good point in our call yesterday. He goes,
Mm.
even an AI generated message is better than most recruiters can do,
Yeah.
which is sad, which is true, but there's a sadness to it.
Hmm. And I think
And
that's such a telling point about how, at some stage, if we don't get with it and learn to be friends with it at some stage, yes, people are like, oh, we're scared it's going to take over. Well, show your humanness in it, and it won't.
you learn it. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid of it.
Yeah.
There are people who are saying the same things, Denise, when PCs came on board,
Yeah.
when the
Mobile phones,
when
cell
the
phones.
internet, with mobile phones, electric cars, still saying about
Yeah.
electric cars,
Yeah.
which is fine by me. But it's, don't be afraid of it. Learn it
Mm.
and
Mm.
ask people. Don't be afraid to ask for help
Mm.
to, come up to speed on it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing with ATAP, the Association of Talent Acquisition Professionals. I'm doing, I've done 2 weeks, and next week is the third week. I'm going to show them more things that you can do
Mm.
with GPTs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
show them how to build one. If they want to learn, they can, I'll do
It's
maybe.
easy to. I just built my talent pool GPT a couple
Yeah,
of weeks ago. So it's actually very easy. It's not hard. You just have to train it, and you've got to feed it data. That's it.
yeah. And it's a lot like building CSEs.
Mm.
Sounds
Mm-hmm.
like it's hard, but there are steps. There's certainly
Mm.
steps to it.
Mm-hmm.
But try it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
try it. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just try it.
Exactly.
So tell me about the state of sourcing in Australia.
Oh, well, I'll tell you why. This was actually one of the reasons why I started Crafty Saucer, Steve, was because one of the things in in Australia that I started to notice was that there was a lot of, I wouldn't say backward thinking, but people still haven't come to that midpoint of understanding the value of what talent sourcing can do and the value that it brings to an organization. As you know, we were always seen as a more junior role, not having the same seat at the table. We're still a little behind, to be honest, and that's why I love going to conferences in other countries, because I feel like other regions are doing it way beyond what we are thinking and doing, and we're still a little far behind, to be honest. But I was talking to Vanessa Rath the other day, and she was saying in South Africa it's also very, very similar.
It
They're
is.
still behind.
Yeah.
We still need to come to the table and really appreciate our community and our skill set for what it actually really is. So it's a bit behind.
Yeah, I remember doing speaking at a conference, healthcare conference, a couple of
Mm,
years back in Philadelphia,
mm,
Pennsylvania, States. And I'm there at lunch with a group of people, and I'd done a keynote on sourcing, and they were adamant that sources are junior recruiters. I go, hold my beer. I said, take out your phone. I want you to type the following, because then there's
yeah.
and hit return. Click on the first link. What do you see? It was a spreadsheet of 600 trauma nurses and their contact information.
Mind
I
blowing.
go, and I looked at the nurse. I go, you're not, none of you are junior recruiters, right? I said, no. I said, how come you couldn't find this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shut them up.
Yeah.
Which is why if we're going to when we hire recruiters and sourcers, particularly sourcers, to me, it's just nonsensical
Mm,
simply to ask them behavioral questions.
mm. Show me.
Bingo. Don't tell me, show me. We're
Yeah.
going to do an exercise here.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's some of the parameters. Number one, sorry, LinkedIn is down.
Mm. Where else would you
Here's
go
the
to find?
job.
Yeah.
I'm going to be your paired partner. Show me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, and by the way, I do have a rubric for it. So, and I'll show it to them after the fact so they
Yeah.
know what they're getting.
Yeah. And we haven't, to be completely honest, like not a lot of companies have adopted this approach. I know a few have. And I think it also goes down to because the people that are interviewing them are not good in sourcing themselves. So they don't know how to actually assess them. So it's like,
But isn't that the case with so many
yeah,
positions?
yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry, if you don't have a rubric, if you don't, if you haven't been trained on how to ask questions in a certain way, how to make people comfortable.
mm,
I mean, come on, garbage in, garbage out.
yeah, spot on. Steve, you actually gave me this idea about sourcing potpourri, and we've got two questions from
Okay,
Australia.
absolutely.
And
Do I know who they're from?
no, they're from Australia.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So the first question is from Liam Porter, who was actually one of our previous guests on the show.
okay.
And he basically asked that there are a lot of TA professionals that are struggling to find work, with a lot of them exiting talent acquisition entirely to reskill
Oh,
or work in a different field. Have
oh.
you considered this? And if you have, which field would you jump over to?
No, I haven't,
Mm,
but I have too much invested,
yeah.
and I have so much work put out there that you know now my work's not done here.
Yeah.
But if it was, few things that were possible. Now, I spent 34 summers as an ocean lifeguard.
Wow. I don't even know how to swim.
That's why all my ink is nautical.
That's
There's
awesome.
all, it's
Yeah.
from I rowed rescue boats, competed against Aussie national teams back many decades ago when I was
Yeah.
younger. Stayed at SLSCs when we were in Australia.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to that now. My days are done. My body can't take the pounding. That I had fun. I would do it all the injuries I've had. I would do
Mm,
them all over again.
mm.
but I'm not going to do them now.
Yeah.
Little things, you know what? Certain professions truly appeal to me. A forest ranger.
Nice. Okay.
I really enjoy being outdoors. You know, a guide or a forest ranger, you know, a park ranger or something like that. Um, that would appeal to me.
Mm.
Um, Certainly, head of head of a uni's career function. Lord knows they need it.
Big time. Even the ones here, massively.
It's no look. It's that is a global phenomenon.
Uh-huh.
There's an association, NACE, National Association of Colleges and Employers, uh, and because of the partnerships between unis around the globe.
Mm.
You know, you know, if I'm mistaken, I think most of the, if not all, the career functions at Australia unis are part of that. That would be a hoot,
Mm.
and to show people what work is really like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wouldn't be one. You know, it's funny about many career functions is the people who are the counselors or the heads of it. They say they won't accept the LinkedIn invitation from a student unless they attend some of the courses,
Really?
which is just
Just
mind-boggling.
being entitled.
But they're also giving just some of the most galactically stupid career advice.
Mm.
And a lot of recruiters are giving galactically stupid
Yeah.
career advice.
Yeah.
So who's to blame for that one?
Because they feel like the person in front of them probably doesn't know any better.
And they don't know what they don't know, but they don't want to find out what they don't know.
Yeah.
There are a massive number of exceptions. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I wish more were people in career advising spent more time with people in TA.
Hmm. That's actually a really good point.
You know, here in the States, Lisa Rangel,
I've heard the name. Yep.
Lisa's a buddy of mine. She lives in New Jersey. I'm in New York. She comes to the recruiting conferences and learns and hobnobs. You know,
Mm.
her one superpower is she did once was a recruiter, so she knows.
Hmm.
Still, you know, she spends time learning and to see what, you know, what is the mind of a recruiter like.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing that we should never forget is that we should constantly be learning. If we are teaching, whatever that is, we should be learning at the same time.
That is Jerry Crispin's mantra. I'm a
Mm.
lifelong learner,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and I'm the same way. I am voraciously read articles and articles and articles, just because it helps me. It puts me in a position of knowledge, as
Yeah.
opposed to a position of um, you know, make believe.
Mm. Mm.
I'm not gonna make shit up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was one
Steve,
question. You have another question. You said you had two questions.
yes. We have one more question. This is from Mel Fryer. She's also from Australia. Um, there are common challenges that talent acquisition partners face when it comes to sourcing, including the time proactive sourcing requires, but also around being able to continually upskill our sourcing skills as technology changes. While needing to be across so many areas of the business, which is like candidate experience, onboarding, culture initiative, etc., with no budget for a sourcing function, how can we overcome these challenges?
Take it personally. I mean,
Yeah.
no, but you have to schedule time for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I schedule 2 hours a week.
Mm.
Well, it's more than just 2 hours. It's in my morning when I have my
Hmm.
morning coffee. I
Hmm.
read my incoming stuff. That's when I try stuff. You know, if you know how it is when most people read a book, whatever, a real book or whatever, and they come to a word that they don't know.
Dictionary.com.
What do they do?
I go to dictionary.com.
How many people just hum over the word?
Mm.
Uh, don't if the people you follow mention a website or mention a technique or mention an idea, write it down, investigate it, look into it.
Mm.
There's that's how you're going to learn it.
Mm.
And don't be afraid to ask the people who gave you the idea
Yeah.
to explain it to you.
Yeah.
because we will.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
just will. So you have to be committed to lifelong learning, which means you have to be committed to doing something. Being committed to lifelong learning means you have to put time away,
Yeah,
schedule
exactly.
time to do these things.
Exactly. And I always say to people that if whichever company you're working with, if they do not invest in upskilling you, training you, invest in yourself, because that is the best investment you're ever going to make.
Absolutely. And then you never know, you learn something you can show people at work and they go, you show everybody, well, I can show everybody, but I think they should get everyone to get this book.
Yeah.
Whatever the case
Exactly.
may be.
Exactly.
So again, you have to, if no one's going to invest in you more than yourself.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Steve, you and
Denise,
I can continue talking after this as well, but thank you so much for coming on the Crafty Sourcer. In fact, I'm going to get you back on here at some stage. I know you graciously give your time, and I'm going to try not to take 3 hours of your
no, but
your week.
I'm going to ask that you bring a friend of mine, another fellow Melbourneian, with me,
Who's that?
Dan Naru.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Let's do that.
You
I know
got to
Dan.
get ruin me. Oh,
All right, let's do it. All right, we'll do it whenever. I'll talk to Dan. Actually, I'll get in touch with him. Let's set something up.
you have his phone number?
I've got him. I've got him on my Instagram as well, so I'll
Okay.
send him a message now. But
Okay,
thank you
well,
so much, Steve.
you're very welcome, Denise, and be crafty.
See you. Stay crafty.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode, and we'll be back next week with another exciting episode. If you found this valuable, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. That helps others find the show, and we greatly appreciate it. Once again, happy sourcing and stay crafty. Until next time.